Here's a short story which is an absolute perfect example of how there are definitely women out there who will get in a relationship with guys they have zero attraction to, who don't care about it all, but only are with them for their resources. So the guy ultimately will pay for everything. And typically these types will really pressure and encourage him to move in with her, and then oftentimes they stop coming up with money to pay the bills, quit their jobs and all that, and expect him to pay. And to be very careful here. And in this story, same thing happens, but the guy is handling it right. Titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my girlfriend financially after she quit her job without telling me? Now listen to this, guys. Listen to what she pulls here. Oh yeah, shout out to Greg for sending this story. He says, so I, 29-year-old male, have been with my girlfriend, a 27-year-old female, for a little over 2 years. We lived together and split most expenses roughly 50-50. Smack! You're together 2 years, and you've already moved in together and gotten established. That is way too soon. You only do that, guys, if you're going to marry her as the final test. And still, that's a little too quick. I'm not rich, but I work full-time and budget carefully so I can cover my share of rent, bills, and save a little bit. Good for him. Very sensible, very adult-like. Well, last month, my girlfriend suddenly quit her job. She didn't tell me beforehand. I found out afterwards that she had already done it. Her reason was that she, wait for it, felt burnt out and wanted time to figure out what she really wants to do. I do understand burnout, but this completely blindsided me. That is not cool. They share the bills, the rent, the electric bill, all that stuff, and she just suddenly does this? That shows she's using him and doesn't care about him. Now, if they stay there, he's got to have to help fork over everything, because otherwise, guess what? They can boot him out and evict them. That is not someone who cares about their guy. And let me get burnt out and wants to find herself and figure out what she really wants to do. That sounds very Gen Z. No offense, Gen Z, but you know what I mean. What she should have done was talk to him about being unhappy, and they work out a plan, and she found another job lined up. Then she quits the job that's been burning her out. Oh, and by the way, guess what? Life can suck. Most people hate their jobs, but they do it anyway because adults have responsibility and pay for the bills. I had to say that. Well, now she expects me to cover her share of the rent, groceries, and utilities until she figures things out. I told her I can help her a bit short term, but I can't fully support both of us on my salary, especially when this wasn't discussed at all. Well, I wouldn't even go that far, but good for him for making the point that this ain't going to last long, honey, and this is going to be a little bit. Figures things out. How long is it going to take for her to figure things out? Usually that means I'm going to go figure things out with Chatter Tyrone. Well, she got really upset with me and said that couples are supposed to support each other and that I'm being selfish and unsupportive. Nice trick, honey. No, lady, you're being selfish and unsupportive. A supportive girlfriend would have communicated with him in advance before abruptly quitting her job and expecting him to fork over the rest of the stuff. What I tell you about getting involved with guys to use them for their resources? Imagine him helping her while she's figuring things out for months, and he racks up a bunch of debt or loses all the money he saved up to help her, and then she leaves town, and she's off with some other guy, which could likely happen. And he's the bad guy? Well, since then, things have been quite tense between us. Some of our mutual friends say that I'm being too harsh and that I should step up as her partner. Let me guess, these are probably her girlfriends? Other friends say she was irresponsible for quitting without a plan and assuming that I'd pick up the slack. I feel guilty, but I also feel this isn't fair to me to put this on me without any conversation. So am I the a-hole? Smack! You're the a-hole for questioning her and feeling guilty. No, she's the big giant jerk who did this. And by the way, why are you living with her after 2 years? You always been living together for a while, and you got together after a year or so moving in together. It's crazy. Dude, if you help her, if you do this for her, if you pay all the bills, guess what? She already doesn't respect you and likely is using you. If you continue on with this, it's going to get worse. Likely, she's going to treat you even worse, and it's going to drag this out forever while she's finding herself, and she's going to find herself with some other guy. Meanwhile, you will probably, at the bare minimum, used up your money and savings to help support her side of the rent and electric bill and groceries and all that, or go into debt. Where's her money? Does she not have any savings to pay for her side of the rent and all that stuff? It'd be one thing if she had a bunch of money aside that she can take care of that while she finds herself. Sounds like she doesn't have any money. Big surprise. So you're out of your damn mind, dude, if you stay with her 1 minute longer. But you're now stuck with each other because you obviously have a lease together. This is why you take your time to really get to know the girl before you move in with her. Now she's showing your true colors, as they usually do after a few years together. But you need to find a way you definitely need to end it with her. And if that means getting another roommate to take over, I don't know. But you stay with her, this is going to be a relationship, and it is only going to get worse. But right there, guys, perfect example. Now, and oh yeah, by the way, those friends that are saying to you that basically you're the bad guy here and you're being too harsh, they're not your friends. They don't understand the big picture. She's doing that on purpose to take advantage of you. And the fact that she's making out to be the bad guy here is everything I need to know about her. Now some comments, because I'm not alone in my thinking here. One guy says, you're not the a-hole. When you're in a relationship, especially when living with someone, it's disrespectful and overall irresponsible to quit a job without some type of conversation plan with your partner. I understand burnout, but unfortunately, adults with bills to pay bills don't have the luxury of just figuring things out. That's not how life works. That's not how life works. If you don't like your job, guys, okay, fine. Find another one, and then have that lined up, and then quit the job you hate. You don't just do that and expect somebody else to pay your bills. That's being a fucking selfish asshole. That's being a goddamn child. And she obviously thinks that she has that attitude, which is, no offense to the good Gen Z people watching this, is common with your generation. And I know I got the better Gen Z people watching me here. But she's also a user. Another one, not the a-hole. Your ex-girlfriend just showed you her true colors. The friends say you have been too harsh, can chip in offering her a place to stay and meals while she figures out what she wants to do. That kind of impulsive behavior and lack of communication should be enough to kick her to the curb. I agree. Yeah, tell those friends to start a GoFundMe page or whatever the hell it is, and they can get a bunch of money together for her groceries, so she can go live with them. And one more, not the a-hole. She's just taking advantage of your kindness for her own selfish benefit. An actual partner would have discussed a big change before implementing it. A manipulator makes the change and says nothing until you're cornered and then puts the guilt trip on you. If you stay, you're giving her permission to continue to treat you this way. I absolutely guarantee you she will continue to be like this, and it will get worse and worse and worse. And one more. It says here, she's burnt out, ? She's going to take a few months to just chill and reset. And you can handle the bills and anything else she wants or needs until she feels up to looking for a job, ? It sounds like your girl wants a sugar daddy so she can retire early in style. She's some combination of entitled and lazy, and it's a good thing she's letting you know who she is. You should believe her. You need to either nip this shit in the bud or bail, and I'm leaning towards the latter, not the a-hole. No, there's no nipping it in the bud of staying in a relationship where there's bailing. She's showed him everything he needs to know about her. And perhaps this is the example. You move in with somebody, it's the final test before a marriage to see what they're really like. Well, it showed it. But frankly, he still shouldn't have moved in with her that quickly. Because I think this gal would have sooner or later showed her true colors, you know. And by the way, I'm going to say what some of you are probably thinking here. If the situation was reversed, right, and he decided he's not happy with his job, and he's going to quit his job because he's burnt out, and he's going to take time off to figure things out and find himself. Meanwhile, she can pay for his side of things. You think that would be very popular with her? Do you think her girlfriends would be telling him he's a big jerk and selfish and all that? No, they'd be calling him the biggest loser in the world because you know what? He would be behaving like the biggest loser in the world. But when she does the same thing, then he's the big jerk for not, it's ridiculous.